Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we had a viewer suggestion for a video idea, and that's going to be how to ship your reptile. Now, shipping your reptile can be quite a nerve-wracking experience when you're doing it for your first time. I still remember the first time I shipped my first reptile a couple years ago. I was a mess, man. Constantly checking the FedEx tracking, trying to figure out, oh, do I have everything? Is it going to the right place? Do I have the right materials? So on and so forth. Doing it your first time, it can get, it's a little nerve-wracking. So I want to take today and make a video talking about everything you're going to need and know about shipping your reptile successfully. With all that being said, I guess it's time to dive into it, and what was that last thing? Oh, roll the intro. So diving into this list, let's get into our first topic, which is of course going to be number one, how to actually ship the reptile. This is actually going to be a two-part thing, because really there are two things to know on really how to ship your reptile. Number one, you need to understand the process. Personally for me, I've been using Ship Your Reptiles for all my reptile shipping needs. There are a couple of other ones at Reptile Express I know. Just personally, I just kind of went with Ship Your Reptiles because I think it was the first thing I saw whenever I was looking into it. Ship Your Reptiles makes everything wicked easy. I'll have a little thing on how they do it. Everything's really user-friendly. It's pretty much idiot-proof to a fault. Pretty much they have a book your shipment. You just put the address in you want to go, the address where you're at, so on and so forth, and it's pretty much it. You can get free quotes if you're trying to charge for shipping, so you get a basic idea of what that shipping cost would look like. I know Ship Your Reptiles also, up until so recently, of course, during the pandemic, they do have live arrival guarantee and some sort of insurance waiver with that and such forth, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So Ship Your Reptiles, if you're looking at how to get started, they really take you through the process step by step, and they make it very easy. Everything in Ship Your Reptiles is going to be the process on obtaining your shipping label to ship the actual reptile out. This is actually Ship Your Reptiles, pretty much a third-party company or a middleman, so to speak, that works with FedEx, so you kind of go through FedEx with Ship Your Reptiles in order to get the label to ship the animal. However, the next step in this process is going to be, well, where do I go to actually ship the animal out? Now, don't be like me, boys and girls. When I first started shipping reptiles, I thought you could go to just any FedEx, and boy, did I look like a jackass to that poor woman, where I'm like, I'm here to ship my geckos, and she's like, we don't do that here. You can't just, sir, this is just a small FedEx box sales thing. You can't just put your reptiles here. We're not gonna ship them this way. And I'm like, oh, oops. Learn from my mistake. There are actually certain hubs through the FedEx Corporation, whatever you want to call it, that actually has shipping centers. Those are the centers where the trucks or whatever grab the packages and go off. So in order to ship your reptile, you need to actually figure out what your closest ship center is. Not just your local FedEx center, but the actual shipping hub. That was a thing that I learned the hard way, and now you get to learn it the easy way by listening to this video and then figuring it out yourself. But now that you know how to obtain the label and where to actually go to ship your reptile out, we gotta get into the next topic, and that's going to be number two, the materials. Now again, for this section, I am just gonna shout out Ship Your Reptiles for that. I'm not sponsored or anything by them, although it does kind of sound like it. Hey, Ship Your Reptiles, you wanna come forth with a sponsorship? I'm all ears. Discounted shipping? I'll take it. If you're fairly new with shipping, you don't really know all the materials that you're going to need, again, Ship Your Reptiles has a great little starter kit that they have. You can get in a number of quantities. I believe you can actually just get one if you only need one, and it goes up for different quantities. Personally for me, I actually just bought, I believe, a 10-box pack with them. That includes the actual packaging, the little Ship Your Reptiles thing, the installation board, pretty much everything you're going to need to actually have the box ready for the animal to ship in. Just one other thing I recommend before we move on to the next topic is actually the fact that you can recycle boxes. Personally, that's what I do a lot because I'm obviously getting reptiles in and shipping reptiles out. I like to reuse boxes, you know, get that little bit of that eco-friendliness here at DVCV Exotics. So, you know, you save a couple bucks and you save a tree, or however, whatever, you save whatever is styrofoam made out of, because I am unclear what styrofoam is made out of. But I do know how to ship reptiles, so. What is styrofoam made out of? Of course, a quick disclaimer on that is going to be, make sure you're using an appropriately sized box for the animal if you're going to reuse. Obviously, if you're getting something in like an 11 by 7 by 5 for, say, an adult ball python, don't use that box if you're shipping out a baby crested gecko, because one, you're going to have to pack the shit out of it to make sure the animal's secure, and two, you're actually going to kind of be price gouging the dude, whoever, unless you're covering shipping or if you're charging for shipping, just because of the fact that that size box is going to cost a lot more than, say, a 7 by 7 by 7. And then going on into step number 3, we are going to get into it, how to actually pack the reptile for shipping. Now, of course, this isn't a scenario where you just put the reptile inside the box, call it a day, and ship it out. Don't do that. That is not how shipping reptiles works. I would be very upset if I opened a box, it took the insulation top off, and then all of a sudden a fucking gecko just whoosh. That is something that you don't want to happen. So we're gonna I'm gonna tell you. That was so dumb. I know someone's done it. I know there is at least someone in the world that was like, nah, just fucking throw the tokay in there and call it a day. What you're actually gonna need in order to ship your reptile is really dependent on what the species is. The two biggest options or most popular ones are obviously gonna be either deli cups or snake bags, versus if you're shipping out a snake, or a smaller animal that fits in a deli cup. Oh my god, I know. I've seen people ship lizards in snake bags before. I think I've seen people ship snakes in the deli cups. I guess it really comes down to personal preference, but we'll go over both of them. Snake bags are going to be a little bit more easier for snakes just because of the fact that it is a pain in the ass to get a snake inside of a small container and then trying to put the top on it, because obviously they're just going to try to poke themselves out. So in that case, snake bag would be the way to go. However, if you're having such of a smaller animal or something that needs a little bit more of a tropical setup, say like crested geckos, tokay geckos, anything like that, I actually prefer using a deli cup just because you can mist inside the cup to make sure they retain that humidity and even have a little bit of water droplets to drink out of during transit. So basically my advice would be larger animal and or snake, probably get away with using a snake bag. More tropical setting species or smaller animal, probably use a deli cup. That's about it. That's a pretty short segment. Now let's get into other stuff right now. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you folks. I forgot what step we are on, so I'm just gonna say that we are going into step number 4, which of course is going to be understanding the weather that you're having and appropriately setting the box for that. Now, making sure ahead of time before you ship your reptiles that you know what the weather is looking like in both areas is going to be imperative for the survival rate of your animal. Of course, if you're living somewhere in the south where it gets to about 90 degrees in the fall or somewhere in that 80, and you're shipping over to, say, the New England area where it's going to be fairly cold, you're going to want to pack that animal accordingly. Of course, the two biggest things you're going to need for making sure that the temperatures inside that box stay secure is going to either be cool packs in the summertime or heat packs in the winter time. I know, crazy shit. Don't put a cool pack in winter, don't put a heat pack in summer. Again, I know someone's done it out there. That's why we make these videos here, just to tell you not to do silly things. Where to put the packs, it's fairly simple. I usually will tape mine up into the top layer of the shipping container, the little styrofoam box, so you'll tape it there, put it in. Sometimes I recommend wrapping it in some sort of loose newspaper or paper towel if you are having a bit of a temperature sensitive animal, such as like crested geckos who can't really get above 80 degrees without some negative effects. I like to wrap it just so the enclosure is staying at a still warm temperature but not getting too hot. Same thing usually goes with the cool packs. I wrap them in paper towels or newspaper, something like that, and I stuff it near the animal within all the packaging goodies, such as, paper towels and newspaper, whatever you're stuffing, to make sure that animal stays secure in the box and is not just bouncing around inside of it. Again, just to note, Ship Your Reptiles actually does have this cool little thing when you are putting in the address. It'll have you, whenever you enter the zip code, it'll have you availability to actually get the weather updates on what's happening there. So wherever you're going from, say, like the New England area down, they usually ship to a district in Tennessee and then ship that somewhere else. You'll get the weather patterns for all three of those when making sure that you have the proper accommodations, those enclosures for that trip. And then before we move on to the last topic, something that I think is imperative to note, that you must use reptile-specific heating packs. This is something that is designed specifically to get to a certain temperature for a longer period of time. I've seen people trying to use stuff like hand warmers, the little toasty things. Here, I'll B-roll of some hand warmers I have. Do not try to ship your reptile with that. Those things are not only gonna not hold the appropriate amount of time, they usually last anywhere around 8 hours, whereas the reptile-specific heat packs will get anywhere from 30 to 60, depending on which type you order. Secondly, they get extremely hot. There's actually a warning on the label to, if it gets too hot, take it out of your pocket because you can burn yourself. You usually get above 100 degrees. It's not good for the animal. There have been plenty of DOAs from utilizing insufficient heating packs instead of getting the reptile specific ones. As far as, you know, trying to jerry rig your own heating pack, that is not the way to go for this one. You really do need the reptile specifics. Alrighty, I think we got most of this stuff figured out now. You know how to get the label, where to ship the animal, all the packaging needs you're gonna need, how to actually pack the specific animal. Then you gotta know your stuff, your heating, cooling, things like that. You're understanding the weather conditions that you're gonna need to have in order to ship the reptile. But now, we only got one more thing to do. That's actually what you need to know about driving the animal down in order to have it shipped. Personally for me, I always get my animals to the shipping hub at a certain time. I don't want it to be too late in the afternoon where they have potential to miss the truck and having to be held until the next day to get the truck. Not only do you just throw out anywhere from $50 to $90 in shipping this reptile overnight, now it's gonna take 2 nights, but now the animal has to sit in that box for 48 hours, and that is never fun. Secondly, I don't like getting there too early. I don't see there's really a point in, like, you know, dropping your animal off at like noon. I understand something's happened. Maybe this isn't your full-time thing, it's your part-time, you have to go to work and you put the animal in. It's not this total like devastating thing where you can't put them there at an early time. But it just gets to the point where now the animal's just sitting in that box for, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours before actually getting shipped over. I don't know. I personally, I try to hit around that 5 o'clock time. I feel that's the little sweet spot where they're not waiting too long to be shipped out, but we're not there too late where they're actually gonna miss the shipping truck. Well folks, there you have it. Everything you need to know about shipping your reptiles in 5 easy steps. How do you think I did on this video? Do you think I knocked it right out of the park? We've got a home run on this bad boy. You guys learned everything you need to know and now you are reptile shipping experts? Or was this a huge waste of time and are you just thinking, man, Dakota, you really dropped the ball. That was not a home run, that was a strikeout. I don't know what the baseball reference is after. Leave me a comment down there, right down below. Was it good? Was it crap? I won't know until you tell me. And then once again, a huge shout out to Zen Habitats. If you're unfamiliar with Zen Habitats, they are a reptile aftermarket enclosure maker. They make some gorgeous designs such as this one right here. Now that we're talking about, you know, shipping and stuff, I really find it awesome that Zen Habitats actually includes their shipping into the total cost of what you're paying for. So instead of getting hit with that extra $100, $200 for shipping, however, I mean, I don't know how much shipping is for other enclosure. But with Zen Habitats, shipping is free. You pay the one price and you're good to go. And I think that is pretty rad. If you want to check some of that up, see what some of their pricing, some of their enclosures, you can find that right down there in description. Let's get into the other stuff. And if you like the video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my animals or my breeding products, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, DBCB Exotics. We're also on TikTok. If you like some cool merch designs like these right here, you can find them down at Teespring, where we also have Patreon. Patreon.com/DBCBExotics, so you get to see everything behind the scenes over here. That includes some new animals we're getting in, and for anyone else gets to see them, up-to-date updates on all my breeding products, including things like ball pythons, monitor lizards, tokay geckos. Well, I mean, really just, we have a lot of geckos in general. We actually just hatched out some very cute babies. I just posted that over there. You definitely don't want to miss it. Cute gecko babies, fun behind-the-scenes stuff, and your name gets to be on the outro. That is gonna happen right after I finish this sentence. It's very cool. Starts as a low as $1 a month. You can find that down there in description. Let's roll that outro that we were talking about right now.